Hey everybody, it's Salvatore, and today we are going to be talking about how mukbangs relate to eating disorders. For a while, in the depths of my undiagnosed eating disorder, I would take to pro-ana forums and Tumblr for inspiration to help me restrict. Many others took to social media for a sort of refuge. People went onto Tumblr and pro-ana websites to either get encouragement to continue their eating disorder or get encouragement to continue to recover. These online spaces are generally not very helpful, and they can be very, very harmful, in fact. A lot of these websites are just people with undiagnosed or diagnosed mental disorders marinating in what makes them miserable. From my experience, there's so much toxicity. There are people on there who are looking for ways to starve. There are people on there who are encouraging others to starve. People are looking for Anna buddies or people to keep them accountable. Overall, it's just not conducive to growth. And I can make a whole video talking about pro-ana websites if you guys like that, but today we're going to be mostly focusing in on an observation I made while on these websites. There's one thing that interests me above all else, and that is the fact that people with eating disorders, typically anorexia, bulimia, restrictive eating disorders mostly though, would talk about how they would use mukbangs as a form to live vicariously through somebody, or to discuss themselves, or basically to make them feel the need to not eat. I found that some people take this sick pleasure in watching other people consume vast amounts of food, and it either disgusts them or satisfies them in a sort of way. Some people are disgusted by the amount of food, the type of food, how fast they're eating, and this puts them off of food entirely. Whereas another group would watch these mukbangs and be very satisfied with themselves, saying that, oh, since they're eating, I don't need to eat because I basically just lived through that myself, kind of living vicariously through the mukbangers. So I think this is a discussion we need to have. Like, are mukbang channels helpful or harmful in general? I know people like Nikocado Avocado are eating themselves to an early grave, and that in itself is bad. And there are mukbangers out there who excessively exercise in order to compensate for how much they're eating, which is also unhealthy behavior. And now we have this new group of people who are typically anorexic people who are watching mukbangs to turn them away from eating. So essentially, mukbangs are harmful to the people making them because they are going to get fat or they are going to excessively exercise. Basically, it's a binge purge type of thing, where they're purging through exercise. And there's also a side of it where the viewers are being harmed because they are taking this as an opportunity to not eat. I think rather than letting somebody who's trying to recover from anorexia watch mukbangs or give them access to mukbangs, we should try to limit how many mukbangs are on YouTube. We should try to limit how much they are accessible. I think that in some way we need to monitor what we do on YouTube, because this is ending up hurting a lot of young teens. People who think that coping with their anorexia in this way, by watching mukbangs, is okay, and it's simply not. Instead of teaching these young people how to battle those negative thoughts, talk back to their anorexic voice, we are giving them a maladaptive coping skill. Now, I'm not claiming we should do any sort of censorship. I think we should maybe focus more on education. What can we do to turn people away from mukbangs and turn them onto something more helpful, like a CBT type therapy? Overall, in the anorexic community online, I think there are way too many tips. There are way too many tips and tricks on how to make your eating disorder worse, and there isn't a whole lot of recovery content, because the people in recovery aren't on social media talking about their eating disorders. They're trying to move past that. I think in general, if we are to decrease anorexia's impact on people, I think we need to be putting out an equal amount of content on how to recover as there is content on how to relapse. All the time on anorexic websites like pro-ana forums or Tumblr, I see people asking and giving tips on how to purge, how to restrict calories, how to exercise, and there really is just no content whatsoever on how do we recover. How do we battle our thoughts that are inside our head, making us perform the actions that we do? Because anorexia isn't really about the behavior, it's about the mindset. It's about what drives you to do that behavior. And the thing about pro-ana websites and Tumblr, in comparison to YouTube and mukbangs, is that one is completely visible to everyone, and that being the mukbangs, and one is very hard for an average individual to stumble upon. And the mukbangs are looking us straight in the eyes while they are causing disordered thoughts and disordered eating, and we just don't even look at it. We turn a blind eye. So there are hidden communities, and then there are the blatant communities, and they tend to overlap, and we don't necessarily see that. See, the problem is mukbangs are accessible to everyone. Anyone can go on YouTube, look up mukbangs, and you will get millions, billions of videos. And then you can use those videos as a reason not to eat. And I find that that's actually a really common reason for people to watch mukbangs. Some people do watch them for the camaraderie. Some people do watch them because they're lonely when they eat. They want someone to eat with. But I think a lot of people watch mukbangs as a spectacle, as a way to release some sort of tension that the viewer is holding and release it by watching somebody else do a bad behavior. It's almost like a self-injurious type mentality. It's almost like when somebody cuts to relieve pain, but this time they're watching videos to relieve some sort of tension. So how do we get past mukbangs? How do we move beyond that and move into a healthier world without overindulgence, without binging? I don't think censorship is the right way to go. YouTube shouldn't take down these videos. I think that would be very dangerous and detrimental to the whole community. But I think us as viewers need to help each other understand what it means to watch these videos. And most of the time, I think it means that you are holding some sort of tension and you want to release it vicariously through somebody. Or I think you want to see a spectacle. I think you want to see drama. And that in itself is not healthy either, because wanting to see drama all the time and wanting to kind of add this stress to your life that wasn't there before, add this online stress into your daily life, I don't think that's healthy either. So what do we do if we can't censor this stuff? I think it's important for content creators like myself and viewers like yourself to have an open discussion about what we can do. It simply isn't healthy for the mukbanger who is ingesting large quantities of food in a short period of time and then either not exercising at all or exercising to compensate. Both of those options are very detrimental because one is basically a purge and the other one is essentially you getting fat and getting multiple diseases from your obesity. And I think we need to recognize that it's not only dangerous to the mukbanger, but it's dangerous to an individual and to society. It's dangerous to an individual because it gives them a chance, an opportunity to live vicariously through somebody rather than confronting their own thoughts. And on a societal level, it's providing some sort of spectacle to look at. We all gather around and we watch these mukbangers and we think of how disgusting this person is, or we think of how we want to live their life. And we think about how disgusting it is, or we think about how we want to live their life because they could eat whatever they want. And it's generally just not productive in any way. We're watching it for the drama. We're watching it to live vicariously through people. And it's just not healthy. We need to replace mukbangs with confrontation with our thoughts. Because what are the thoughts behind watching mukbangs? Is it because you want to restrict? Well, that's bad. Why do you want to restrict? Probably because you have body dysmorphia. Maybe you're watching it because it satisfies you. Well, why does it satisfy you? What is missing from your life that these mukbangers have? So, in general, to summarize, mukbangs are dangerous for everyone. And they aren't providing anything productive to society. In my opinion, they are providing people with a way out. They are providing people with a reason to do or not do something. And that's not okay. We need to be able to confront our demons and not push them to the side and replace them with something else. We need to stand up to those demons and we need to talk them down, because otherwise you're going to have them for longer periods of time. Suppressing those thoughts, suppressing those feelings will work for a short period of time. And most of us have gone through that in our lives before. But once you confront those thoughts, feelings, whatever it might be, you will find a greater release. You're not suppressing them and pushing them further down into your body. You are bringing them to the surface and letting them go. So yeah, those are my thoughts on mukbangs. I would love to hear your opinion in the comments below. If you liked the video, give it a like. If you disliked the video, give it a dislike. And if you want to see more of me, don't forget to subscribe.